February 10th, 1984. This is Joe Todd, an interview with Mr. Gideon Nance. Mr. Nance, where were you born?
At Alderson, Oklahoma.
Alderson.
About 6 miles east here.
Yeah. And when's your birthday?
April 12th, 1900.
1900. Who was your father?
George Nance.
George Nance. And who was your mother?
Fanny Nance.
Fanny. What was her name before she married?
Eubanks.
Eubanks. Were they both from Indian Territory?
Yeah. No. My mother's Indian Territory. My daddy was from Missouri.
How come your folks came to Indian Territory?
What's that?
How come your folks came to Indian Territory? Or did they ever say?
Well, my mother was born here.
Mm-hmm.
And my daddy was a coal miner. He came here from Thurwood, Texas.
Mm-hmm. When did your mother's family come to Indian Territory? Did she ever say?
No. Let's see. Well, I guess this is her original home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at here in Territory.
Did your grandparents come here then? Did her parents come here? Or did she ever talk?
Her parents was originally from Oklahoma.
They were?
Territory, yeah.
Were your grandparents Choctaw Freedmen?
Yeah.
They were? What were their names, your grandparents?
Alfred Eubanks. And Mariah, let me see, I don't know, let me see, what is her first, trying to think, what is her first name, maiden name? I believe it was Schultz.
Schultz. What exactly is a Choctaw Freedman?
What is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's, as far as I can remember, her daddy was a slave, and he was owned by the Indians. And when they freed him, well, they gave him allowed him some land.
Yeah. Did she ever say that which Indian owned him? What was his name?
Said, but I forgot. It's been so long.
Was it R.M. Jones? When he came here, he brought 500 slaves with him originally. Colonel Jones.
Yeah, Evans.
Yeah.
I don't remember him ever saying who is.
Yeah. Did your mother ever talk about the old slave days? The story that she was told?
No, my granddad used to talk to me about it.
What did he say about
He
it?
used to say about some Indians owned him, and they was pretty good, nice to him. And he just did chores around the house. I understand, that's what I remember him saying now. Mm-hmm. And they was nice to him. And after he was freed, they gave him that land, I think, and I believe he said they gave him a team, I believe a mule or something. I forget now, it's been so long.
Yeah. Did he say how much land he was given?
40 acres.
40 acres? Where was their land, do you know? What part of the Choctaw Nation did they live in?
He was allotted some land out here at Carbon.
Carbon. As a little boy, what kind of chores did you do around the house?
Well, them days we used mostly was coal and oil. See, that's where we had coal for fuel for heat and oil lamps for lights.
Mm-hmm. Was it your job to keep the lamps filled?
That's my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we kids did it.
Yeah. What did you like best about, what chore did you like best around the house?
Was taking care of stock.
Yeah. What you dislike?
I didn't. Well, let's see. I didn't care too much about working in the field.
Mm-hmm. What kind of house did you grow up in?
It was a 5-room frame building.
Mm-hmm. What kind of crops did your father raise?
Cotton, corn, peanuts.
Mm-hmm. You ever chop cotton?
Yes.
How much could you pick in a day? How many pounds?
Highest I ever picked was about 98 pounds.
98 pounds. What time of year do you pick peanuts?
About August.
August? I guess you pull them though, don't you?
Yeah, you put 'em.
Mm-hmm. What is entailed in growing peanuts that's unique to peanuts? Like cotton, you have to chop it and all this. What do you have to do to peanuts?
Well, we had to keep the grass out, clean the grass out of them. But we didn't chop peanuts like we chop cotton. See,
Mm-hmm.
we just usually peanuts was something like a garden. You just keep the grass out
Okay.
and plow.
When did you start to school?
I was about 5, 6 years old.
You started down at Alderson?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had to pay for us when we started school. It was 3 of us kids, and I think he paid, I believe it was $2 a month. They taking that out from coal mines. See.
It was a subscription school then?
I imagine so.
Yeah. Was it all black?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How many students in the school?
About 25, 30, I guess.
25. Who was your teacher?
My first teacher was named William Taylor.
Mm-hmm. How long did you go to school?
Oh, I completed the 8th grade.
Mm-hmm. What made you decide to work in the mines?
Well, right now there's a mining camp where I was at, and all of them youngsters working in the mines and making good money, and I just decided I wanted to go. My dad didn't want me to go, but he wanted to finish school, and I just told him that if I couldn't work in the mine, well, I'd leave home.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted me to go to school, get an education. I wanted money more so.
What What was your salary when you started? How much money were you making?
$5.29 a day.
What year did you start working in the mines?
What did I do?
What year did you start?
It must have been 1718. I just forget now exactly what year.
Mm-hmm. And what was the name of the mine?
It's Rock Island number 5 at Alderson.
Mm-hmm. What was your first job in the mine?
Well, my first job, when I first started work in the mines, I worked on top. I was picking slate.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they emptied coal in the cars. Well, by the time we slate, then we'd a bunch of us, and we'd just pick slate out the coal.
Okay. Was there a big mine disaster back in 1917, 1918, along in there?
Now, I used to hear my dad talk about they had a disaster at Krebs in the coal mine, but the mines where I worked at, they never did have no disaster there. And they had a disaster there in, I believe it was in 1920s, as near as I can remember.
Any miners killed?
Yes, 21 miners killed.
Mm-hmm. What, explosion?
Explosion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Did the mines produce more during World War I, 1917, 1918, during the war?
Yeah, they produced quite a bit of coal.
Mm-hmm. Let me regress one. Do you remember Statehood Day, when Oklahoma became a state in 1907?
Yeah, I remember a little about it before when it came to the state.
Yeah. Was there a big celebration around here?
Well, let's see. Yes, as far as I can remember, well, it wasn't no big celebration. It was just a little mine out there, that little mining camp, you know. Yes.
Down in the mine, what is the overall boss called? What's his name? What was his title?
Let's see. What, you want the superintendent or the boss? The superintendent, they wasn't in the mines all the time, but the boss was in the mines all the time.
Okay, was the superintendent over the boss?
Yeah.
Okay. What were his duties as superintendent? What was his job?
Superintendent was go around and see that the mine was kept up in shape.
Okay, and then under him was the boss?
Boss, yeah.
And what was his job?
His job was to see that the mines kept the places in good condition, well timbered. When we say well timbered, that's the braces up, just like braces in a house to keep the ceiling from falling.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And you had to keep your area in good condition?
Yes.
What did you have to do to keep it in good condition?
Well, about every 30 feet, I believe it's 30 feet, they'd have a cross cut. And the cross cut was where you go so far, say 30 feet, and you make a cross into opening into another room so the air could travel through. And you had to put a canvas up for a curtain, and that would carry air just like at this door. You put a canvas here, but when air come in here, it'd go up there and circulate around there and make it go all through the different.
Okay. And who was under the boss?
Well, he had they call it a room boss. Called now they used mules in the mines, and they had a man over there. They called him the boss driver. And under the boss driver, it was room bosses. Because the main boss, he couldn't see after all that. He had to have men under him to go around these different places and see, because they had so many men worked in the mine.
Yeah. How big was the room?
30, let's see, 30 feet wide, I think it was.
And then under the room boss were just the miners?
Yes.
Okay. What was the highest position you held in the mine?
Driver. Mule driver.
Boss driver?
No, mule driver.
Mule driver.
I was just a employee. I drove a mule to bring the coal out to the main entrance where the ropes could get it, and bring it on up the slope, drop it back down to the cage, where the cage could get it and put it. They had 2 men there. Cage, they put these cars on, then just same as the elevator, bring it up top, emptied in a car.
Were you in a shaft mine?
Yeah, I worked shaft and the slope.
How deep underground were the mines that you worked in?
555.
555.
Mm. That's the main landing. That's from the main landing from the shaft down to the bottom. After I go down to the bottom, where to go down a slope, probably that slope was, I imagine, was 75, 100 feet deeper than the main landing.
Mm-hmm. Did you prefer working in the shaft mine or the slope mines? Or was it about the same thing?
It's about the same thing. Well, see, now you take a shaft mine, when the shaft went down so far, and then the slope went off from the shaft.
Okay.
And you take a slope mine, it's usually starts from top and go down.
Okay.
See.
Mm-hmm. Whenever you drove the mules, you used to have one mule or two mules that you drove?
Well, I drove one mule here in Oklahoma, and out in Wyoming I drove 3.
Mm-hmm.
They was right behind each other. You know?
Yeah. How much could one mule pull?
5 or 6 cars, and the cars would weigh, if they loaded, they weigh around 28, 30,
Is that each car or all of them?
Yes, each car.
Boy, that's a lot for a mule to pull.
Yeah, you put 5, 6, 7.
Yeah. What are the hazards of being a mule driver? What you have to look out for?
Had to keep his collars clean. That's to keep the sores from getting on his shoulder. And you were taking care of the mules. You didn't want to get them in run them into a bad place and low places where they'd scratch, they'd get cut, scratch themselves like that. They'd take care of mules and down there just like we did on top, just like people do on farms. You know?
Yeah. What about going up or down the shaft? Were there any danger you had to look out for?
No, a shaft was, you get on the elevator on the cage lease and you just go right down the same as on the elevator. But a slope mine, Now, if you have to be careful about when you get in there about putting your hand on the side, the car, because when they're going down last time they'd rub we call it the rib. It's the side, just like you go down the side of the house and the finger rub there. Be careful about some places was low and you'd have to get down in the car, keep from striking your head against something.
Mm-hmm. Ever have a car run up on a mule?
Yeah.
Where does that happen?
That's I believe that's neglecting in the driver, because he don't. See, if you're going downhill, you should always have, we call them spads, sticks you stick in the wheel. See, and they call them sprays. That's just things you put a brake on a car. See? Mm-hmm. It slows the cars down.
Hmm. And you started in the mines in 17 or 18, and how long did you work in them?
See, I quit the mines in 29, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was working at Hartshorn then.
Mm-hmm.
That's about 14 miles, about 18 miles east of here.
What else did you do besides driver?
I dug coal. I loaded coal. Now, there's two different ways. See, now digging coal, you got a pick and you shoot it, and then you dig it out. But now loading coal, a machine cut it, and you wouldn't have to do nothing but load it. See? There's a difference in loading and digging coal.
How much could you load in one day?
Oh. When I was digging coal, I could load about 5, 6 cars a day, and loading coal, load 10 or 12.
How much coal is in one car?
Well, it depends on how you load it. See, now, you just load it level, it'll run around, 18 or 2,000 pounds. If you load it up, we call that the cribbing. If you load it up, you could put probably 500, 600 pounds on it.
Mm-hmm. What causes the mine explosion?
Lots of times from gas, and lots of times from dust. They don't sprinkle the mines, don't take care of them right. I think that's what causes explosions.
No. What do you do when you sprinkle a mine?
That's water, just like you sprinkle here on top.
Okay.
Keep it down.
That keeps the dust down?
Keeps the dust down.
Mm-hmm. Could you tell when the air was getting bad in a mine?
Yeah. Well, I could tell that because the top, it cracked just like you hear a house pop and going sometimes. Well, that's the way it do in the mine. See, now if the top's bad, you hear that little cracking all the time, or you take your pick, it sound hollow. Mm-hmm. See, if anything's broke up there, it look like it sound hollow, but if it's solid, it's just like you hit on something solid.
Yeah. Were you ever trapped in a mine?
No.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, if a fan stopped last time, I had to come out that way, of course, where the trapped, there wasn't no danger there. Fan stopped would come out because when the fan stopped, you couldn't get no air.
Yeah. So you quit the mine in 29?
29.
Mm-hmm. What'd you do then?
I started work at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Here at the Aldridge Hotel.
Yeah. What'd you do there?
Well, not when I quit. I didn't start the hotel till 37. I farmed after I quit the mine. until 30.
Yeah.
31, 30, somewhere along.
Yeah. Where's your farm?
Out at Alderson.
Alderson.
Mm-hmm.
Did the Depression affect you and your family?
Yeah. Yes, depression affected us. Couldn't get anything to do, and I worked on the WPA and NRA like that before, and I'd go sometime. I'd walk to work maybe 4 or 5 miles, just getting. I believe it's $1.50 for $2 a day. I forgot what they was paying then. That WPA.
What'd you do for WPA?
We fixed the road and he was shoveling. We'd repair roads, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Build new roads.
And then you went to work for the Alderson Hotel?
Aldridge Hotel.
Aldridge Hotel. What'd you do there?
I was a garage keeper. Park cars in the garage.
Mm-hmm. And how long did you work there?
I worked there about, off and on about 30 years, I guess. Because first time I worked there about 22 or 25 years.
Yeah. Did you do any work for the war effort in World War II in the 40s?
No, never.
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to be, I was drafted in 17, and I was supposed to I went and was examined, and I was supposed to been shipped out the 11th of November in 18, but the armistice was signed on the 12th of November. I was supposed to be shipped out, but the armistice was signed on the 11th, and that stopped me.
Yeah. Was there a big celebration on Armistice Day?
Oh, Lord, yes.
Tell me about that.
Oh, man. As far as I can remember, I waked up one night and the train was running through here then. They had train on. And trains was blowing, cars blowing, bells rang, church bells rang, people was shooting fireworks or powder or things like that. They were just happy. They just having all kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that went on for a week, I guess.
Did you join the celebration?
Yeah, I tried doing it. I was in there with them, trying and doing the best I could.
Yeah, did you have to go to the Army?
No, I didn't have to go to one at all.
Mm-hmm.
See, we all see my father. I had a brother. My father, my brother, and myself. See, we was all drafted, but didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
My daddy was a coal miner, and that kept him out. And my brother, he was registered too, but he wasn't drafted. What I mean, he wasn't supposed to win, because I was the youngest, and I was supposed to win on the 11th, on the 12th, and the army was signed on the 11th.
Mm-hmm. Ever hear of the Choctaw Light Horsemen?
Choctaw Light Horsemen.
Yeah. They were a military unit, I understand. What did you like about coal mines?
I think the only thing I liked about it was the money that I was getting. That's the reason I went in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything you dislike about them?
No, I like the coal mines all right.
Mm-hmm. Where'd you meet your wife?
At Alderson.
Mm-hmm.
See, I married twice.
Twice.
Both my wives deceased.
Mm-hmm. How many kids do you have?
Nutty.
None.
Oh, I got three. See, I got three. Let's see, I got two from my first wife and three step kids from my second wife.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have any of my own.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have a good interview about the coal mines.
Yeah.
Do you remember any particular incidents that stick out in your mind about coal mining that the car ever run away with you?
Yeah, or when I was loading coal, lots of times I'd start the car out and I'd put a sprag in the thing, get away from it, and run down like habit.
Mm-hmm. Now, how big was this sprag you were talking about?
Oh, about an inch and a half in diameter, and about
10 inches long, the sprag?
I'm at 10 or 12 inches
Yeah.
long.
Is it wood or metal?
Some had both wood and metal.
And you stick it in the wheel?
Stick it in the wheel. See, when the car's turning, the wheel, you know how a wheel have them little, like spokes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's have to be pretty good to stick it in there sometime when they're going fast.
Mm-hmm. And that's what slowed the wheel down?
So that slow it down. That's the same as putting a brake on a car.
Yeah, okay. The big mine disaster, was it Little Bowling in 29?
That was a little bull. I wasn't working at that, but I was working at Hartshorn in the mines when they had that little over there. That explosion at Little Bowling. But I worked in Little Bowling after that. I worked about let's see, 2 or 3 days. 2 days I think I worked at Little Bowling. And the reason I quit, I was loading coal, so I cleaned my room up to get ready for the machine to cut again. See, cut my coal, and after I cleaned up, well, I couldn't get my drills out to drill the hole in the coal. The machine hadn't come in and cut yet, but I was going to get my drills out, drill a hole, and I pulled a bit out the gob. Now the gob's the place where they threw all that old rock back in there, and it was just about a foot from the top. See, I reached in there to get a drill, drug this drill out. When I drug this drill out, well, a jumper, old jumper, and an old dinner bucket. I pulled that out with it, see. And it just come to me then, what am I doing in a place like this? And that was my old man, the man's jumper and his bucket, where he had it when he got killed this night. It exploded. Well, I said, well, if Lord good enough to let me get out of here, I won't come back no more. I never did go back in there. And it just scared me. See, I don't know, when I pull that out, well, I just got frightened. And I quit. And the morning we leave to go down in the mine, we'd have ice in our bucket, because that mine was hot, see. Had ice in the bucket, and when we get to my working place, it melted. It just that hot. So I quit.
How many men were killed in that mine?
I think it was 29. I believe it was, as far as I can remember, seemed like it was 29. I forgot now, it's been so long.
Yeah.
See, I ain't no young man no more. See, I'm 84 years old.
Any other incidents that you remember in particular?
No,
What were you doing in the mine over in Hartshorn? What What was your job over there?
I loaded coal and drove a mule away.
Mm-hmm. What was the name of that mine?
12 Hearts.
12 Hearts.
That's Rock Island mine.
Well, I want to thank you. We have a good interview.
Yeah. Thank you. Where was it now? New Mexico.
New Mexico.
I worked in mines in New Mexico. And that's why I was telling you I drove them 3 mules
Mm-hmm.
in New Mexico. And they had cars there with hold 5 tons. And one car was 5 tons.
Yeah.
And went from there to, well, I quit work here. No, my daddy got hurt in the coal mines here. And I came home.
Yeah. What part of New Mexico was it?
Madrid, New Mexico.
Yeah. How come you went out there?
Well, the mine wasn't doing anything here, and so now there's a boy out there, and he told me about it, so I went out there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job out there.
Yeah.
I stayed out there, probably close to a year. My daddy got hurt in the coal mines here, and I came back.
Yeah.
Because my brother and sister, they wasn't no one home with my dad and my other neighbors getting up in age, see.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home and stayed with him, be around him.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And then that turquoise mine, that's the first time I ever seen it. Well, I'd seen turquoise all right, but it'd be on rings or bracelets or something like that. I went in this mine, that turquoise mine it's just a solid rock, but it's blue. It's that same color, the turquoise you see.
Yeah.
But man, that stuff is hard to get out. Woo.
How do you get it out?
I don't know how to get it out. I just went down just looking around in that.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot it out. I'm telling you. Hundreds and hundreds of men over there.
Oh, the one in Krebs? When was that explosion?
Oh, Lord, I don't know.
But a couple hundred men were killed in that mine?
I believe he said, I believe it more than that. I believe it was. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll ask
Yeah.
Mr. Jonah.
Yeah, he tell you all about it.
Yeah, good.
I'm satisfied I know him, but I don't remember that name.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go out there while I get my plants out in the spring of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, I'm going to talk to him this afternoon.
yeah. Yeah, you got a florist over there.
Yeah.